What is happening, YouTube? Spectre here, back again. Bikes are out in force. Now, you won't be able to see from this distance, but just in this dip is biker pics, the roadside photography people. We're following on from the filming for my last video. Biker pics are just there in that little dip, just behind the heather. And I've just come all the way over here. We're on Dartmoor now, up on Dartmoor. I brought the little CG across. I'm a little hesitant to stand back because it's sinking slightly into the soft mud, but there we are. Little CG's made it all the way up to Dartmoor. We're going to head back now. So I've plotted in a ridiculous back roady route again, just like getting here, and we're going to set off. Oh, beautiful. I love this little thing. I love it. I love having it back. As much as it's a bit of a faff on the bigger roads. Okay, I was just complimenting you. Alright, head off. Now, if you're seeing this, it means it's a video. I'm not entirely sure what this video is going to be like, really, but I'm just riding back now and I've got the camera on anyway, so I might as well try and get something out of it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record. I'm going to not edit this one so much, and I'm just going to include a lot more raw riding. Keep this quite a kind of an unedited back roads of Dartmoor on a CG kind of video. And we'll see how it does, really. I'm always playing around with editing styles and video styles and whatever. Now, I don't really have. The reason I've not done this sort of video before is I don't have a good enough audio to pick up a bunch of the engine noise. So, you know, you'll see, you'll be able to hear it's more or less just wind from my microphone. Shall I downshift that? Yeah, it's I need to have an audio recorder really to do this sort of raw video, which is why I cut so much in my videos. It's partly because I have quite a lot of verbal tics which I have to cut out. So if you see a lot of, you might see in my videos there's a lot of sort of short edits, and like the video would sort of jump forward like half a second or a second, and that's me cutting out a verbal tic or repetition, because otherwise the entire video is extremely frustrating to watch. But I generally cut out a lot of the dead space as well, because I don't have. It's different if you've got a nice crisp audio and you can hear engine all the way through, but when it's just wind, it's not quite as good. But as I say, I'm recording anyway, so I'm going to ride along. I'm going to talk a bit. You know, if anything like this view here is just incredible. In fact, actually, I'm going to pull over and take a picture here because I normally do, and I've not taken the CG up to Dartmoor before. So I should make the most of it because it was a bit of a faff. So let's hop over here and take a photo. I won't make you sit through the photo part. Oh, should we go on right on the end? Like an absolute painoose. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so I'm going to cut out, like, I'm going to stop here and take a little photo. I'll cut that out for you guys. But for the rest of it, I'll just leave it in more or less a raw ride, and we'll see how that does. And yeah, let me know. Like I say, I'm always playing around with it. I'm always trying new. There are cyclists there ruining the view slightly. But I'm always trying new genres and new types of video and new whatever. So it's all a learning experience, isn't it? I mean, look at this though, dude. It's like, it's so cool. Look at the bike. Look how small it looks in this landscape. Let's step about the road because we've got something coming. Not bad. Look at that, man. Look at that. That is just spectacular. I'm just taking a couple of photos here. I've covered my plate now. Look at it, man. Look at this. Look at this valley. The light dappling across. There's a house down there. A tiny wee house. What a spectacular place to live that would be. I mean, honestly. Look at it, man. It smells weirdly of piss up here. I don't know if someone been up in this little like weird craggy valley up here. Beautiful, this heather. They've had bees up here some of the times I've been up here. People have bees and they use all the heather as pollinators, but I love it, man. It's magnificent. Right, I get the gloves on, jump back on the bike. Let's crack on. Beautiful. That's a fucking hell. That's a thumbnail in itself. What a place. What a place to go home. Yeah, there are worse places to live, huh? This is why I came back to the southwest. I'm every day reminded of that decision when it's right here. Actually, I need to come out here in the car more often. That's the one thing I do need to do. Is I don't go exploring in the car enough because I'm just a pussy. So I think I should make an effort to get the car out on places like this. Yes, you know, you get some narrow roads to deal with, but it'd be nice to be out here without wearing bike gear. I can like pull up, park somewhere, go for a little hike up one of these hills, or go climb a tour or whatever. That could be quite good fun. So we're heading on. So yeah, we've got a little bit of a dog leg first, just to zip through around the sort of back roads here. It's not a crazy long one. I've not plodded in too much because I don't want to be out too long. The weather's a little bit changeable. Alright, you guys gonna let me through? Excuse me, fellas. Hey, gorgeous. Hi. Oh, you're pretty. Inadvertently herding these guys. Don't mind me, fellas. Don't mind me. You're alright. Hey? Meh. You're okay. You gonna turn off, fellas? You just gonna send it down the road? Because this is not ideal. You just let me pass. That's pretty down there. There we go. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. Good effort. Apologies for the morning jog. Say morning, fucking afternoon now. It's always good to have good relations with the neighbours, you know. Keep them on side. Yeah, it's nice out. We've got some nice dry stone walls, we've got some old heather, mossy trees and everything. There's a variety of environments now. You've got a lot of this sort of heathery and bracken and all of this sort of vibe. There's a few old forests, there's also a couple of newer like plantation type forests. The plantations, obviously, they're working forests, so they're not as nice to be in because all the trees are a bit regimented. And you know, they're very clearly not as natural as the sort of unmanaged, or I know they're all managed to an extent, but you know what I mean. The natural forests are a lot more organic, whereas the plantations tend to just be very straight rows, efficient rows of trees. But it's still pretty to look at. Of course, once upon a time, all of Dartmoor would have been forests, and it's, you know, the current environment that we have of like open empty moorland. It's a valuable habitat in of itself, but it's not the original, and it shouldn't really be all of it. I've got a friend of mine is a forestry manager. Technically, he's doing very well for himself. But I had this conversation with him the other day, a while ago. Where I was like, you know, what, like, is my sat nav turned off? That's not ideal. There we go. Yeah, I said like, is it possible to rewild these like Dartmoor? Could you just plant a whole like shed load of trees and bring it back to forest, or is the climate and the environment too far gone now to make those sort of changes? Why? I'm not in first. Come on, shift. There we go. You got it right there, shifter. I can't quite get down into first gear. One second, boys. The whole unedited thing might not quite work out. That's neutral. There we go. We just got slightly caught up in a weird place, I think. We're good. Yeah, and he said it's in theory it is possible for a lot of it. You know, it would need an unfeasible amount of money, and no one would bother really. It's the issue, because it, like, obviously once you rewild a place, you can't make any money from it, so it's unlikely to happen. That's stretching it to call it a pothole. Grab another gear. Yeah, that one's a spicy gear, that first. Yeah, so it's unlikely that Dartmoor level will be covered in trees again, which is a shame. And it's the same with other areas, like you look at like Glencoe and places like this in Scotland, which they're very famous for being so barren and rugged and stuff, but I know a lot of foresters and like sort of woodsmen up there are quite angry about that, because they're like, this isn't a good thing, it's not supposed to look like this, you know. But it would be nice if we could bring, you know, up our tree count in the UK, because we've lost so much habitat and so many beautiful areas that should be big, you know, wild forests and all the rest of it are just not anymore. And it'd be nice to bring back a lot of these areas, but it's finding balance always between, you know, where's the money going to come from, what's the land being used for again. Some farmers are in favour of rewilding and like eco ways of farming, others are get really up their own ass about it and see it as just like city people being, you know, like not understanding how land works and see it as a waste. And you know, there's a conversation for both arguments really, but either way, so long as we have an appreciation for the land we live in, then that's the main thing. That's a lovely little house, look at that. I wonder if that's an old like sort of guard house or gatehouse for some sort of larger property. It's very pretty. It might not be, it might be quite a new one to be fair, I can't tell. Yeah, here's one of the plantations. So you can see it's all the same sort of tree and they're all very uniform. They have a purpose, but it's not quite the same. But then if you have plantations in the UK, it reduces your air miles and your carbon footprint for your wood, which then benefits the environment in general, which benefits the natural forests and the rest of the habitats. So it does all come full circle. Wonder where that track goes. Seemingly nowhere. That's the sort of thing that's tempting when you're on a smaller bike though. One of these forests, I don't actually remember which one it was, but when I took my Bonneville out for its last ride, I came along here. I think it actually might have been this one. And I pulled into one of these gates and I took the bike, it was actually, yeah, it was this one just coming up. And I took the bike all the way through. And I sure it wasn't supposed to, you know, it's a footpath, but I took it up in the trees and took pictures of it up there because it was pretty. But you can see the gaps all the way through and how it's all very uniformly heighted and all the trees are the same height. There's not a great deal of like variation, but you still got the natural. You got the horses out here. I love all this where it's just like, this is more natural and you've got such a variety of tree species. They're all at different stages of growth. I'll just pull in a little bit here. The old Porsche. Oh, Christ. That was a cattle grid at some point, and they've not done a very level job smoothing it out. They just sort of dumped a big load of tarmac in there. Again, cracking area to live in this. There's a few houses out here. I'm forever jealous. And I'm sure it is a ball ache in the winter when you need to get stuff. See, again, I'm struggling to get shift down there. Is my chain like extremely slack or something, or is my clutch going? Something needs adjustment. This has been a longer ride for this bike. But yeah, I'm definitely struggling slightly there. You gonna let me by? Yeah. There's not much I can do about it apart from keep riding, unfortunately. I do have the Honda toolkit with me. The CG has a nice little built-in toolbox beneath the side panel, but I don't really have the skills to do much with it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll get it home and then we'll see what we'll assess from there. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's not a great deal that can go wrong on a CG. I say. Clutch is pulling all the way. Well, this is going to be a dramatic takeoff, given I can't get into first, and that's quite an important gear for me. The life of a small bike. I'll let them go by. So long as it is something simple, so it's not like bent the shift of a fork or anything stupid like that, but as long as it is just like a chain adjustment or a clutch adjustment or something. The clutch is pulling, I checked the base of it there, it is pulling in all the way, so it's not like the lever's not fully engaging or anything. I don't know, just not quite. I can go from like second up and down, but just getting from second down to first I'm struggling with. Oh well, so much for the relaxing lanes video, eh? Well, now we're off the smaller tracks, we're back on the bigger stuff. I'm going to call that video there. So, thank you very much for watching that one, guys. If you did see it, we'll see whether there's any more of that style. It's definitely something I want to do once I have come on, sweetheart. Once I have a better mic setup, so I can record engine audio more effectively. But it's a little bit pointless right now. Well, it's not as, the outcome won't be as nice as I want it to be. You know, it won't be as atmospheric as it could be. But yeah, thank you for watching anyway, guys, if you have, and I'll see you in the next video, which could be anything. Ride safe.